When I agreed to do this talk, Susie told me she wanted a light-hearted, entertaining evening. I'm an autistic ADHD accountant. So you can draw your own conclusions on where this one's going. But that's actually what I wanted to talk about. There are so many stereotypes about neurodivergence. When you think about hyperactivity, can't focus, can't make eye contact. I don't really fit any of those things. I completely flew under the radar until I was diagnosed in my 40s. And looking back, I think, you're right. I'm not surprised that no one spotted it. There were absolutely no small signs whatsoever of my neurodivergence. Let's start with infant school. I was a bit obsessed with maths. Still am, hence being an accountant. At school, we didn't have homework. Most kids would be saying, woohoo! I said, please can I have some homework, I'm really bored. So they gave me a book called A Dozen a Day. It was times tables, and you were supposed to do a dozen a day. Definitely no ADHD hyperfocus. Whole book, one night, job done. And then school ran out of work for me. And they told my mum and dad they should probably try to send me to a prep school because I'd finished all the books and I was having to help them teach the other kids because they literally had nothing for me to do. So off I went to prep school. I loved my black leather briefcase with red leather interior. In the 80s at prep school, that was a bit of a yuppie accessory. Today I'd probably be heading for 50 Shades of Grey. I played netball. I wanted to be a goal shooter. But I was tall. And so they said, you've got to be goal defence because that's what tall people do. Talk about stereotypes. I was playing my first match at my new prep school. Their goal shooter was about to take a shot. And I glanced up and I saw the netball post was twisted. Can't have that. Can't have that. Autistic brain is going, I don't think so, because that's not fair. It's got to be straight when she takes the shot, or that's not fair. So just as she's about to take the shot, I move the post. And she only goes and scores. You can imagine what my new friends at my new school thought of me. I played chess at school as well. I thought I was all right at it until I went to a tournament. I thought I knew the rules of chess. But who knew there's a whole extra set of rules when you go to a tournament? I was playing a girl much younger than me. I'm doing that because she kind of was. I think I'll move that piece. No, maybe I won't. Touch move! Touch move! What? And she calls the officials over. She touched it! I said, it's a chess piece, is that not the point? Apparently not. Apparently, if you touch it, You have to move it when you're playing in a tournament. But no one had told me that. So after she called me out in front of the whole room, I didn't really play chess again after that. I was a goody two-shoes. You might have spotted it already. Total teacher's pet at school. But I didn't have the school hymn stuck into the inside of the hymn book because we didn't have any glue. The whole class didn't have any glue. So the whole class got a demerit. When you got a demerit, you had to go to the dining room at break time. You were given an A3 sheet of paper. You had to draw centimetre squares and colour them alternately. Black, white, black, white, like a chessboard. Seriously, talk about trauma on trauma. Sit there and draw your own chessboard. Relive that experience. But I loved it. It was freezing outside. Your way of telling me off is to get me to sit in a warm room, draw centimetre squares and colour them in. I was blissfully happy until I finished it. And then they screwed it up and put it in the bin. Still my best art ever. The entrepreneurial spirit was there from a young age as well. There was no tuck at school. I thought, I've got a bit of a sweet tooth. I'll take in a wham bar. You might remember wham bars. I think you can still get them, can't you? But they're about this big now, where they used to be this big. So I took in a wham bar. And someone said, oh, I like wham bars. I thought, great. Tomorrow I'll bring them a wham bar as well, because that's what friends do. They'll be my friend if I bring them a wham bar. So the next day I brought them a wham bar and someone else said, oh, I like wham bars. I thought I'll bring you a wham bar. Hold on one cotton picking minute. Let's get the maths going here. No, I'll sell you a wham bar. So my little tuck shop is going in the corner of the playground. Got to the stage, spot the accountant coming out, where I had my dad take me to book a cash and carry on the way to school. Whole box of wham bars, wholesale. And I bought a 6-column accounting ledger book to keep track of it. The principal was not that impressed. I got a bit of a telling off. He told me to stop it. These days he'd have lined me up for The Apprentice. Then on to high school. I like puzzles. I like codes. I used to create codes and write things in code. ADHD impulsivity again. Russian, that sounds great. It's learning a new language, but it's like a code. Let's do Russian GCSE. Oh my word. Learning the alphabet, that was great. The rest of the language, not a clue. A further highlight of my school career was my Russian oral exam. I was supposed to say, I left my bag on the train. When the teacher stopped laughing, he had to switch off the tape recorder. He was laughing so much. He told me what I'd actually said is, I left my prostitute on the train. And what about the rest of my GCSEs? My mum recently said to someone, Lisa was brilliant at revising. She was so organised. She had this colour-coded revision timetable. let me tell you about colour-coded revision timetables. I was brilliant, not at revising, but at creating colour-coded revision timetables. I would spend half the day creating a colour-coded revision timetable for all the days left until the exam. Then I'd procrastinate, do something else and think, oh no, now I'm going to have to make another revision timetable because this one's out the window, isn't it? Now, I'm going to skip a few years now because I'm 49 and we'll be here all night. My husband Nigel and I met on internet dating. I change my appearance quite often. Usually when I'm going through some kind of crisis, to be honest. Have a nervous breakdown, think, it's okay, change my hair colour, that will sort everything out. So, when Nigel and I met, I was somewhere between red and going back to blonde. It was sort of, what would the word be? Kind of orange. Unintentional orange. And it was really quite short and quite spiky. What Nigel didn't tell me until several years later is that he decided that my avatar on his phone should be Beaker from the Muppets. Because that's what my profile picture reminded him of. So, as well as having the Star Wars Death March as my ringtone, I'm Beaker, going, me, 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 which he did just for comedy value. I wasn't diagnosed at the time, but if any of you have seen the TikTok memes recently, Beaker has been quite closely connected with neurodivergence. Anxious all the time, bit weird, doesn't communicate well, tends to go monosyllabic, me, me, me. Suddenly all making sense, isn't it? Maybe Nigel saw something I didn't see. Well, he definitely did because he was the one who suggested I might go for an autism diagnosis. I wanted to impress Nigel. We'd been together for about 2 months and he'd gone abroad to work. I'd flown over to Singapore to meet him and we were flying off to Bali for a holiday. Again, ADHD impulsivity. We're at the airport and I think, I want to impress him. I'm going to buy him something nice. So the plane is literally about to board. And I say, do you want this really expensive watch or not? Because I'm going to buy it for you. Nigel's a bit more laid back than me, so he was like, okay, if you want. So I bought him this expensive watch. Because I thought, he'll definitely like me more if I buy him an expensive watch. That will definitely seal the deal. So he has this beautiful watch. It matches the watch I've got. Or so we thought. And we said, oh, this watch isn't working. Bought this watch at the airport and it's not working. Now what do we do? We're not at that airport now. Realised that in my impulsivity, I hadn't clocked, pun intended, that it's a kinetic watch. Winds itself up when you're wearing it. Nigel's an aircraft engineer, so he's not allowed to wear jewellery for work. Can't wear a wedding band, can't wear a watch. So watches, wedding bands come out for special occasions only. So when we go out for dinner, Nigel's sitting there going, and he is wearing it tonight. When we got married, I thought, I'm going to save some money. I will make our wedding cake. Do I know how to make cakes? No. Do I know how to decorate cakes? No. But I'm sure there's a course I can do. Do I have any cake equipment? Well, I didn't. But now I do. Because that became my special interest. I think I spent around £3,000 on cake equipment that's still sitting there today, and a course to make a cake to save a couple of £100. But it was a great cake, very proud of it. Then we had our son, and I went to Tesco to buy baby bottles. A pack of 6. 4 with blue lids and blue necks. 3, sorry, there's the maths. 3 with green lids and green necks. Got to put a blue lid on a blue neck and a green lid on a green neck. Can't have it any other way. Nigel's delighted, absolutely delighted, in putting them all the wrong way round. Because what he found so funny is when I would open the cupboard door and I'd have to take them all out and put them all the right way. Because I said to him, and you can picture his face, I said, they don't fit otherwise. He said, of course they do, look at them. No, they don't fit. It's got to be blue on blue, green on green, or they don't fit. But definitely no signs of autism whatsoever. It is a revelation to me that I made it to my 40s without anyone saying, do you think she might be neurodivergent? So as I say, there are a lot of stereotypes, and for some people those will be the things that help you understand it. But there are also a lot of people just like me. And now that I do more public speaking and I've trained as a neurodiversity coach as well, the more I talk to people, the more I have people coming up and saying, oh my God, I've just realised, because I'm just like you and I never realised that could be neurodivergent as well. And finally, Nigel genuinely does have photos of me writing this talk on the train here. Because at 2 o'clock this afternoon I didn't have a talk at all.
Oh my God.
And that's the way it always goes. No matter what time I've got, it's like a complete block until I'm right up against the wire, and then the dopamine kicks in and I just get one idea and I'm away. At 2 o'clock today I had an acupuncture appointment, and I went in and I said to her, now I don't mean to be rude, but I'm going to not talk to you today because I need to write a talk for an event tonight and I haven't started. And she said, oh, okay, I'll be quiet. What's the talk about? And I said, well, Susie told me she wants me to be light-hearted and entertaining, but I'm an autistic ADHD accountant. And she said, but that's really funny, say that. And so I did. Thank you.